The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Game Changers podcast. The quote I just said a while ago is taken from Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. As you could probably tell, this episode is a special episode. Our guest today is a young man who has the Bible at heart. He has the passion for the study of the Bible at heart. Some people find it difficult to understand scriptures, and his role is to make it much easier. His name is Trevon Pierre, and I'm fascinated to have this interview with him. Hello, Trevon. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Great,
Yes,
great
sir.
to have you on. You know, I always say it's important to have fellow content creators on this platform because it really helps me to learn. I hope it will help you to learn and to I guess advertise for yourself.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, I know it will
Great,
be a good
great.
interview.
So let's start from the very beginning, man. Tell our people a bit about yourself.
All right. Um, what I would say, my name is Trevon Pierre. Um, I'm a content creator for Trevministries. Currently, I'm a teacher at the Patricia D. James Secondary School. I
All right.
am an elder at the Therefore as the church currently. Um, that's well. Usually, when people ask about yourself, you kind of tell them what you do. Well,
All
I
right.
also say who I am.
Okay.
I consider myself to be an introvert. I
All
consider
right.
myself to be someone that's a contradiction, because
All
um
right.
yeah, I'm extremely smart, but I can be real stupid sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm very very
Same way.
serious, but people call me a clown as well. So it's kind of a balance between two extremes. So yeah,
Right.
I consider myself a contradiction. Um, and I guess I have a lot of friends because of that. That I'm able to adjust to different environments. So yeah.
Lovely. That's a pretty interesting introduction. I think that might be one of the most interesting ones we've ever had. So I like that.
Uh,
All right. So
absolutely.
you spoke that you said that you were a teacher. This is what you do as your profession, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Great. So where did the love for ministry come in?
All right, that's a good question. Um Boy, I want to make that short as possible because it's a life story. That's the thing.
Right.
When From the time I can remember myself, I've always loved
Mm-hmm.
reading. I read a lot. So
All right.
I'm sure you can relate to that. Nancy Drew, Hardy
Oh yeah, Hardy
Boys,
Boys.
Moby Dick. I reading everything. Everything my mother give me I reading. Um so I kinda had a natural intelligence from just reading. What started to happen was I felt like school just didn't satisfy it, like the secular education, it just
Right.
didn't stretch my mind in a relevant way. I
Okay,
felt
interesting.
like, yeah, as once you understand and you can regurgitate, you mash up school. um
Right, right.
yeah, so to me, school was always a breeze. It got to a point where I just never studied. Just whatever mark I get is from what I listen in class and just going
Right.
over what we did before. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually like sit down and read. Like, boy, I have to make sure. It just never satisfied me. I should say probably stimulated me mentally.
Right.
But in addition to being taught to read and being shown the importance of reading, I also was born and raised in the church. So I
Mm-hmm.
also came across spiritual content. Now, for me, spiritual content was what satisfied me the most.
Right.
That's where it started. It started with the fact that education just didn't cut it for me, but I find that spiritual content met my desire, my need to have something to always study, to always learn, and yet there's always more to learn. I love
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah. So that is what started my journey. And I don't know, do you know of the 10 volume set that people say all real Adventists supposed to have in their home? The 10
Which one
volume
is that
set.
one?
Um it's the it's like Bible stories. I think it's
Okay,
from
so the
I think
Maxwell. Yes, the Maxwell one. I know exactly what you're
yeah,
talking
that one
about.
exactly.
I've
So
probably
I,
read
I
all of them.
yeah, exactly. Now I read them. I could remember myself reading them 4 times over. So all 10, four
Right.
times over. And the satisfaction of discovery, the being able to understand how God operates, that kind of thing, that's what really started to meet the desire I was looking for. So that's what really started my desire for spiritual things. And
Mm-hmm.
then the passion for sharing with others, it was a natural result.
Okay.
Because I find that a lot of individuals, a lot of my counterparts, really did not understand a lot of things that I was able to understand by just reading. So I found myself explaining a lot. And I'm like, well, okay, if I can get them to understand it, then we can share the same excitement I already have. Um, so that's something I kind of, that's where I started. I just wanted to bring people to a point where they can understand as much as I do. They can be as excited about the word as much as I do. That's why I started. Um, then let's hope he never watches this. But one of my friends began to question God a lot. And I felt like I was inadequate to answer him.
Right.
Um, I could like literally remember that during, I think it was early teens or Cornerstone, one of them.
Okay.
And I just could not answer his questions. I'm like, wow. Like it didn't shake my faith to a point where I questioned God, but I felt inadequate because I couldn't help him. I couldn't help
Right.
him. I couldn't answer him. So that brought me into apologetics, which is, well, I should say Christian apologetics, which basically is like a school of thought that helps you learn how to defend God, the study of God,
Right.
who He is from the Bible, that kind of thing. So now I started to see the philosophical relevance of the Bible, where like the deep questions everybody has: if God is good, why is there evil? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That I started to get into that, and for me, it opened up an entire new world of understanding God that I've never seen before, I've never heard before. I'm like, yes, I'm definitely in the right place because
Right.
I could tax my mind completely. I could stretch my brain and know that it contributes to my salvation and the salvation of others. So there was that relevance to that. Um, that it really kept my drive going. So that's why I developed the habit of learning to teach. I like to help individuals understand God, who He is, what He does, why He does what He does. And it also helps me to save others, to wrestle with difficult conversations that I've had with myself, to be able to answer difficult questions that I have asked myself. Yeah. I will say here as well that unfortunately, I did not find my answers in the church environment.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Pretty interesting.
yeah, yeah, I didn't. So I mean, what I'm saying is like I would ask a question, like why did God do that? And like generally the question would be, oh, young man, when you get to heaven, you will figure it
You'll
out.
ask.
Just
Right.
yeah, you will ask him that kind of thing. Now, even if you might not be able to fully satisfy me with an answer, I'm not taking that.
Right.
So yeah, so that is what led me to online, to research online. And honestly, I thank God that I was led to the right resources. Because I'm a part of the Adventist church, I tried my best to remain in Adventist content alone. And for me that helped because that's what led me to Amazing Facts. Now, Amazing Facts by Doug Batchelor, I think is a place everybody should start. Um, so that helped me a lot, and it developed my love for prophecy. Then I started to look at Mark Finley, and then I started to go to YouTube. I think I'm here before YouTube. So when YouTube came, I was
Right.
yeah being I was able to get some content from YouTube as well. So it's a combination of these different experiences that really helped me equip myself to answer my questions and the questions that other individuals would have.
I find that pretty interesting. So your passion for learning then helped your willingness to teach and to share.
Right, right.
I like that. So you were not just consuming the content, you now wanted to create the content. Maybe
Yeah.
not officially, but even through like just teaching. Now I know you started a Bible study. Where did that come from? The
Okay.
starting of the Bible study, particularly like a
Yeah.
weekly Bible study.
Now for that, hmm, that one took a while to come because, for one, I feel like my church puts a cap on age.
All
So,
right.
like, you would have to be at a certain point of experience, reputability, respect,
Mm-hmm.
for you to say that you are conducting Bible studies. So there was that cap. Now, usually you would expect that a man of experience by 30, 35, someone that has been in the church for so long, these are the individuals that would want to start Bible study. But for me, because I uh discovered my passion so early and started to perfect the craft, I found that it was it was easier for me to kind of break the status quo. So, like, one of the things I'll always remember is, like, I think I was 18 years old, and I was teaching the adult lesson. Like, I was a Sabbath school teacher for adults, and I'm the youngest person in the adult class. If you understand, like,
Right.
because I'm supposed to be at 18, I'm supposed to be in the collegiate class, right?
Right.
That 18 to 25 gap. I don't know. I have never seen the quarterly until studying with you all. Yeah. So, so I think so because of the way that the church regards age,
Mhm.
I had to wait a while before I could say, okay, I want to start a Bible study. So I'm saying that the passion has always been there, but I respect the culture of the church, and I waited a while before I could avail myself for Bible study. Um, so yeah, so at Maranatha, I did start Bible study. I can remember, like, literally every Tuesday afternoon on the steps outside the church, we would do Bible study. So that's my earliest memory of conducting Bible study. Um, then you fast forward to working at Praise FM, and
Mhm.
now you can say that my name is on the map. So I am known for being able to explain the Bible. So I think that also increased the confidence of the church in me to be able to say, "Hey guys, we can start a Bible study," and it doesn't raise red flags like, "Boy, look,
Right.
this
Right.
guy's
Right.
starting
Mhm.
some madness," right? So while working at Praise FM, that's when I started to conduct Bible studies at the Lifeline Center when it was still being run by the church. And part of the Lifeline Center initiative was to be able to minister to the community in every possible way. So financially, academically, that kind of thing. And Pastor Philip wanted me to uh, help in the spiritual aspect.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's how that started, where I would have every Friday night, I would have Bible study physically in the Lifeline Center. Then COVID came, so we had to scrap that. I'm like, you know what? I already have um, a group of interested young people in Bible study. I will not allow um, COVID to prevent us from continuing. So this is why I started to purchase Zoom. Right, Zoom. Yeah, Zoom is about how much I don't remember, but yeah,
$15
it's
about that?
yeah about $15 a month.
Right.
So I started to purchase that, and now we started Bible studies online. Now it's much easier to be consistent online. Um, so I've been doing Bible studies, yeah, for like 3 years, 3 years about that. Um, yeah, yeah. So from that point, you kind of have like the my territory is being expanded. So then
Mhm.
I had to present at a medical missionary course, and that led me to encounter French people from Canada. So that's another Bible study by itself. And then there are individuals that don't like to study in groups, so they prefer one on one. And then you have another group of individuals who are, just friends, but we have such a good rapport. We,
Mhm.
decide to make a forum for Bible study. So it's literally one step at a time. Oh, I must mention, like I did Bible study with Praise FM staff as well. So
Okay, all right.
it
Pretty
was,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. That was, yeah. I feel like that's my favorite. I want to break the body out there,
Yeah.
but that was my favorite Bible study sessions in my life so far. Um, it was, yeah. So yeah, so these are some of the things that happen. Like now that I have the passion, it seems that God kind of opened the opportunities for me to express that passion. And even when it seemed that there's no opportunity, I decided to make an opportunity. So that's kind of why I'm at a point where I do Bible studies every day of the week. Um, yeah, that's
Wow. That was a pretty interesting journey. Hello, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the episode. This episode was made possible through a platform called Riverside FM. It's a platform that I've grown to love, and it really does justice to creators. Unlike Zoom or other platforms, it records content locally and then uploads it to the cloud so you have a seamless video. If you are a creator and looking to get into this space, this is the platform for you. Click the link down below to get started today. Have you gotten your official Game Changers merch yet? If not, what are you waiting for? Get yourself a hip, trendy t-shirt or hoodie that is sure to turn heads. T-shirts only cost $55 EC and hoodies go for $120 EC. Highlight your inner game changer. Get yours today. Game Changers proudly supports Kids Health Creative, a publishing house encouraging children ages 4 to 12 to live healthy lifestyles, all while having good, clean fun. Get the latest book, Be Smart, at 10% off when you use promo code QuinnST at checkout. That's QUINNST at checkout. Get yours today. What inspired you then from taking the content, quote unquote, from Bible study and documenting it on a YouTube channel that
right.
became Trev Ministries?
Okay. Um, Shilon, Shilon Leo has been on my neck for like 4 years straight. No
That's how
exaggeration,
he is,
four
eh?
years straight. Like, bro, you should start a podcast. You should start a YouTube channel. You have the information already. You have the skills, the artistic skills to be able to make it. in a video, and I already have a radio voice according to him. Perfect. So
Yeah.
start. But in my mind, I'm like why? What's the point of starting a YouTube channel for the content that already exists? Yeah, that's how I
Right.
felt about it. It just didn't make any sense to me that um like you want to understand hell. I could send you a link. Yeah, I could send you to Ministry Magazine, like Biblical
Right.
Research Institute. I could send you to Doug Batchelor's YouTube page. I don't have to make a YouTube page. All the content that you want me to make already exists. That's how I felt about YouTube. So I didn't make anything for like the past 3 years. But the circumstances for this year specifically, since I was without a job from February, I think it
Mm-hmm.
was the best time for me to uh, keep occupied. Now, that's so ironic because it's not like I have nothing to do now that I no longer work at Praise FM. But
Right.
I felt like it was the opportune time to um, empty my brain. That's how I think about YouTube. Emptying my brain. I'm not even trying to like reach a specific following mark, a certain amount of subscribers. I just I have too much information and no platform to put it. That's how I feel.
Right.
So like if I could share my screen, Quinn, I will show you our a folder called completed sermons, 7 gigs, right? And like half of these sermons, I've never preached them. I've
Right.
never preached them. They're just there. So it's like out of all of the excitement of just putting the content together, I've just never had the platform to share. And when you have that much information and not much time to share, there's a growing frustration that starts to come because you hear certain discussions in church and it's like, wow, what if I just give you one appointment? I clear that up now.
Right.
Why if
Right.
why that person of all people end up apostatizing? If I was just given a platform that person, maybe that would not have happened. You hear discussions among young people, and the same questions are asked all the time. I'm like, just
All the time.
just give me one AY settling all. That's how I feel. That's how I felt. So I felt suffocated, which again is ironic because I'm very active. But I'm saying that the amount of information I could share in 30 minutes versus the amount of information I learn over the week, you can understand how the gap
Right.
gets wider between what
Yes.
I share
Yes.
and what
Yes.
I've learned. So that's why I was like, you know what, I think now is the best time to start a YouTube
Mm-hmm.
page so that every idea that I have that concerns the Bible, not only can I communicate it to anybody that is interested, but it also it's also immortalized in a sense that the
Right.
information will always be there. So for me, that's one
Mm-hmm.
of the benefits of making YouTube videos where I could just send a link now and say that I have explained this before in a video. Check it out, tell me what you think. Um, so that kind of helps as well. So
That's
I hope
really
I
fair.
answered your question. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And I like what you said at the end about the immortalization of the content, because that's part of what I thought of when I started Game Changers. It's the production of timeless content,
Right.
content that will be relevant whether I am here or not, and whether or not it becomes a monetized entity
Yeah.
or so going forward. The information would always be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that. All right, bro. So, yeah, I really like that. I really, really like that you chose to make content for that reason. I always say it's important to start with your why. And your why, it came from a pure place, right? It came from a position of wanting to share with others and wanting to give others an opportunity to learn what you know. And I guess that makes your content even purer. So I like that. So tell me, Trevon, What type of style is your YouTube page? What is your content like?
Okay. Um, my currently speaking, what I do is that I make PowerPoints and
Mm-hmm.
I voice over these PowerPoints, and that's basically what the video
Okay.
is. Of course, I believe in audio visual learning, based on Edgar Dale's code of experience. People remember about
Mm-hmm.
50% of what they see and hear. People remember 10% of what they see and 20% of what they hear. So for me, um,
Mm.
giving that audio visual touch to it is more effective in helping individuals learn. Another reason
Right.
why um, I make PowerPoints for all presentations for that matter is because I don't want people to take my word for it. I violate the
Right.
rules of PowerPoint Queen, because let me tell you, people have spoken to me so many times. PowerPoint not supposed to have the paragraph. PowerPoint not supposed to have all of these words on one slide. I'm
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
with
yeah.
that. But the point is, I want you to be able to read what I'm reading. I want you to realize that the content I am sharing here is not mine. It is straight from this individual. I don't want you to think that I am, quoting one sentence at the beginning of the paragraph and another sentence at the end of the paragraph to make one thought. It's important to understand that when using audio visual teaching and audio visual style of teaching, I'm saying that even if the the rules of PowerPoint are being violated, it's for a reason. I prefer to
Mm-hmm.
have, I prefer to show you the proof that you can read the code for yourself, you can read the text for yourself, arrive at a correct conclusion, and realize that I'm saying the same thing. As opposed to, like, you come across a quote and I just say it in passing, but it might be something
Right.
that stands out to one individual. So while I'm explaining a point, you already take a picture, boom. That's something that stays with you, as opposed to me just saying it in passing. And then again, since according to Edgar Dale's code of experience, you only remember about 10% of what you hear. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's the most effective way. You can see, you can write down, at least write down the quote. You can see that while I might have, like the whole quote is in white and a little part in yellow, that's just to show you that there's emphasis. That's what
The
I want to
highlighted part. Right.
emphasize, but that doesn't mean that, right, but that doesn't mean that the rest of the quote is not important. So all of these things, I prefer doing it that way. And for YouTube, it's even more effective because now you can hear what I'm saying and you can pause and you can read. You can look at the references I have. You can open your Bible and go to the references yourself. You can research the quotes that I have. You can pause the video and get everything and then continue. And let me tell you, if individuals are able to do that, what they're doing, they're literally just reading a book in a YouTube video, So
Right.
for me, that's my style of presentation.
Lovely. Lovely. I often say that it is not per se the way you produce the content, but the quality of what you produce.
Yeah, so it's like there's a difference between presenting to you and studying together with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think that's what my style of PowerPoint eliminates. So you're reading with me, you're studying with me, you're seeing what I see, and we arrive at
Mm-hmm.
this at a similar conclusion, as opposed to this is what I found and this is what I want to give you based on what I found. So for
Right.
me, that's why it's that way.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. So, Trevon, why is it so hard for some people to study the Bible?
Hmm. All right. That's another excellent question, boy. Yeah, I think you really think about them questions. There is, boy, there are so many reasons why. What I would say is, for one, the versions are not as easy to read.
Okay.
It's not like, yeah, it's not like the modern English where you could just read and understand.
Mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm.
Bible was not written that way, for one, and the translations don't really help sometimes because the translations that would have the best English may not properly communicate the thought of the writer. That's the issue.
Got you.
So I think that's, while it might be a shallow reason, but it's
Mm-hmm.
still a significant reason where, you read thou hast, thou shalt, and they're like, what are you reading there? And that alone, it can be
Right.
an easy turn off for individuals that try to study the Bible. So that's one. Another reason could be that the Bible requires time and attention.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn, we are living in a time where we don't read. Let's just admit it. We don't read. Our attention span continues to be shortened by YouTube shorts and TikTok videos and vines and much shorter songs with more repetition. Our attention span is shortening.
Right.
So the discipline that it would take to sit down and go through a text and stretch the mind to wrestle with the text and to pray and to stay until you understand the text, you hardly find someone that has a patience for it, even if the scripture itself is for their salvation.
Hmm.
Um, so for me, that's another major issue that just culturally speaking, we don't read. We don't have as much patience. We have short attention spans. So I just don't see the significance to reading the Bible. That's another reason. Um, Now you could understand how this could be the rest of the interview, but
Right.
I think I just want to highlight the major reasons based on my conversations with individuals. The third reason I want to mention is the way that the Bible was written is like it's like a it's like a puzzle box.
Right.
So you have to be able to, and if you put a puzzle together, you would understand. You have to be able to empty out the box and separate the pieces. When you separate the pieces, you see, okay, that looks like the corner. That looks like the corner. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that piece is similar in color, so I think it can fit there. That's how the Bible works. So if I want to understand who Jesus is, then I need to go throughout the entire Bible to get a full picture of who he is. So a
Right.
lot of individuals expect that and that's why our devotional lives, our devotional practice is not beneficial sometimes. So you pray, you open the Bible, whatever you find, wow, that's significant, that's deep. You post that on your status. It's a psalm. You don't know the context. You don't know the significance. You don't know the application. You don't know who wrote it. You don't know when they wrote it. You don't know who they're writing it to. So it's like a scatter shot. No, I'm not saying that they cannot learn that way, but I'm saying that they're missing the point because they're
Right.
focused so much on one puzzle piece. They're not seeing the full picture. So I think that incorrect Bible study practices also makes it difficult to read or study the Bible.
That's beautiful. I think, and I think all the points that you have highlighted really speak to misunderstanding of how to study, I guess. So, so learning how to study properly would make studying the Bible easier. At least it
Yeah,
should.
agreed.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. All right. So Trevor, we're moving on to our quick hitter questions. Now, these questions are some easygoing questions meant to be answered very quickly, as quick as possible.
All right.
So
Okay.
in 30
All
seconds
right.
or less, if you can.
Okay.
but we won't hold you to it. All right. If you
Yeah,
have to
I'll
go
try
over
to keep
40
it
seconds.
short. 'Cause the way my
Uh,
brain, the way my brain works, I feel like I have to look at every angle.
right,
Yeah,
right,
I'll
right.
I'll do my best. Let's go.
Okay, so the
All right,
first
I'm
one,
ready.
I want 3 quick tips to studying the Bible.
Okay, 3 quick tips to studying the Bible. One, you must pray before you start.
Okay,
Two,
one.
you should do a word search. All right, so you should do a
Mhm,
word search. So focus on one specific thing to learn. And number three, always ask yourself where where is Christ in what I'm studying, and
mhm.
how can I apply this to my life? All right, so
Lovely.
that's less than 30 seconds, right? Yeah.
And you have a video on that, right? Correct?
Oh yeah, I have a whole series on that. Keys for Study is the series for that, where like literally we just look at different ways that you can enhance your study of the Bible. So yeah,
Yes, and we'll
Keys
leave
for
that there
Study.
in the card. We'll leave that in the card so you can so so you can get quick access to that. Right? So that's lovely. Second question. And we ask all the young people who are on this podcast this question. Apple or Android?
Android and that's easy. That's light work. You see, any day Android. Apple I
Right.
find is not user friendly unless you start with it. Um when I say start, I mean from its earliest inception,
Mhm,
you've already
mhm.
gotten the hang of it. But
Right.
someone that could just sit down and just be introduced to Apple, it's really not user friendly in my opinion.
Mhm.
It is I would say it's superior in terms of processing power and
Right.
quality, but I think a lot of things are get locked by price. So
Right.
that it's clearly a niche market. So
For
yeah,
sure,
I
for sure.
prefer Android any day. Um, yeah.
Makes sense, makes sense. Lovely. And the final question in the quick hitter segment. Who would you like to see on Game Changers?
Okay. Who would I like to see on Game Changers? Um, one of the things one of the things that came to mind when I was watching your videos is what I should make a series like that on my channel, like church changers,
Ah,
like individuals who have caused like a paradigm shift in the church, revolutionize the way that the church operates. um and one of the individuals I was thinking of was actually Lance Octave,
okay.
because
And then no.
I think that he was yeah, I think he was instrumental in bringing the church to a point where they can see the benefit of technology.
Mhm.
Um, you know,
Okay, Trevon. So, how can people get in contact with you?
well, yeah, my contact information is actually on my YouTube channel. So I know a lot of people said, boy, you should have made a separate number for that, but I'm like, it will never explode that much to the point where I have to be changing numbers. So I'm not worried about that.
All right.
So my number is 758-287-5086. That's my personal number. So you can always check me on WhatsApp. Again, like I
Mhm.
said, boy, there are so many things I forgot to mention, like when you don't even know. Um, because I used to be a general conference online Bible worker. I forgot to mention that completely. Yeah, that was a
Ah,
part of what I do as well. So in terms of me, like needing a separate number, by now I should have had one, but honestly, it has not affected me at all. So, yeah, whoever has to
right,
block or delete them, whatever. But
right, right, right.
I have not encountered anybody that violates my privacy or anything like that. So I'm not afraid of that. Yeah. So two eight
That's
seven
good.
5086. Of course, my My email would be trevministries at gmail.com. If you feel free, if you want to contact me there, you
Mhm.
can. My name is Trevon Pierre on Facebook, so you could always add me on Facebook as well. Although I don't really use it, but that's a good place to start. So yeah, I think these are the main ways that you can
Mhm.
contact me. Um, yeah, and if you want to reach me for anything, you can always check. Yeah, yes, sir.
Lovely. And as usual, we will leave the links down below. Okay, Trevon, my final question to you is what advice would you give to somebody who wants to become just like you?
Boy, just like me, you say. All right, I'll take
Just
that
like you.
in context. Um, I would
All
oh,
right.
for me, I would tell them the same thing that Shilon told me. It's a power of the start. It's a power of the start. I think he actually has a blog on that. Um, Usually we
Mm-hmm.
wait for all obstacles to be removed. Everything has to be in place before we begin. Um, and I mean, I feel like that's the story of almost every YouTube content creator. They started with what they had, and they just
Yes, it
remain
is.
consistent, and now a lot of them have exploded. So I'm saying that for me, if you want to be a YouTube content creator like me, then that's what you should do. Start with what you have, and just be consistent. If you want to be like me in terms of like studying the Bible and being able to share the Bible with others, I would say that again, I there's no special gift that I have. The only difference is time. I have dedicated time to studying. I have dedicated time to research.
Right.
I have dedicated time to understanding. I have dedicated time to sharing. So for me, that's the only thing. It's time. It's a matter of making time to spend time with God, to study His Word, constantly asking Him for guidance. That's the most important point because there's a lot of information out there, but not all information is truth. So being able to navigate through
Mm-hmm.
all the false doctrines of the internet and all the false opinions of even trusted men sometimes, you need to ensure that God is the one guiding you through that process. So, really and truly, what I would say, time and consistency. Even if you don't want to be like me, time and consistency is still the point. You might have
Time and
another role
consistency.
model. I'm saying the answer is still the same. Time and
Mm-hmm.
consistency. So that's my advice to you. Make some time and be consistent, and you can accomplish anything that you want in life.
I love that. I really
Yes,
enjoyed
sir.
this
Yes, sir.
interview, Trevor. And to thank you for coming on. As usual, it's always good to speak to you. I want to encourage everybody to like and subscribe this video and like and subscribe all the content on Trev Ministries
Thank
going
you.
forward.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for
Thanks for
coming,
the
Trevor.
invite.
Yes. As usual, stay hungry, guys. Until next time. Bye bye.